Hello everyone, this is Father the Everchosen, back in Divide and Conquer, bringing you more of our runic conquest of Dorwinion. So when last we left off, we had taken Strondost, and we had taken Rhubar, starting our war against Dorwinion, and right now, Mufarij, grandson of Lokan Rukar, I do believe he is. Yep. Third son of the first son.
Noble one.
Is guarding the bridge from Keresant to Strondost. So our next goal is to actually go to Keresant and take it. I do believe the ring sits there currently.
Orders.
We have many troops
serve?
coming over to Bur Ermonarchus to guard against Captain
Be
Bard
gone.
and his pretty decent army. The big thing is that Bur Ermonarchus is a town, so it does have a wall around it, not a big wall though. So if I can get enough troops here, I think Captain Bard still has 2 turns.
Battle.
So the goal may be to try to fight outside of the city instead. Got a bunch of money coming in. We're just doing well all around. Captain Scald up here has a pretty middling army, and we have a bunch of dwarves coming here, but I have
An honor to serve.
Kalja and Broda here on the bridge trying to guard against them, and it should be more than a match for these dwarves because the area lad dragon guard are armor piercing, though it would be nice to have some archers. But we are at an end turn, so let's move along. We are moving this gentleman, I believe, to Bree to try to get a trade agreement with the men of Bree. I don't remember why that guy went that far. I think he was supposed to meet up with Mufarij. But we know that Dorwinion has spread westward and has not come south. There is still a rebel province nearby us, one of the few rebel provinces remaining. To our south, we do know that the very eggs of Khand stood with Mordor, and the Blue Wizards have been killed, but Sturlutzikand and Amukand, I believe, are both lost to them. And Kentar is probably going to help them take them back, though. So, what was this? No, Balkov Spearman. Keresant does not have a large garrison here, but it will get, I believe, 5 units. Excuse me, of probably Westron defenders.
Yes, nobleman. How may I serve? Joining the ranks.
So let's see, what can we bring to bear against the great city of Keresant without jeopardizing ourselves? The only good thing right now, the men on the Isle of Nabur are stuck there. They don't have any ships to get off. All right, we've got Captain
I'll
Nail
rip
here
off your head and spit down your neck.
going towards.
I'm only here to fight the Yagaloot. Noble one.
So let's see.
I'll rip off your head and spit down your neck.
It'd be nice to know what the full composition of this army is. Would rather not lose Rhubar, especially with the troops that I have there, but I would much prefer them to attack my city rather than sally out against them. So we will hold there.
Yes, noble master.
Kalja will enter the city here. And let's grab some Daratai hunters to assist in guarding that bridge. Mistrand is recruiting troops. Let's get another Balkoff Spearman. Troops coming there. Don't have the ability to train anybody yet here.
Orders.
Alright. Captain Bard has decided
We march.
against...
How may I serve?
what was that?
We march. Orders. How may I serve?
Against coming to
We march.
Dorwinion Monarchus.
Orders.
So we are going to just
As you will.
pool our troops here, and we will again have a raiding force, this time under Khan Margos, our faction heir. And he is an archer, I believe. We're about to hit the barracks event here within the next few turns.
My ears are yours.
Let's keep an eye
Unseen,
on them.
invisible.
Nope.
Your will.
Katsu.
As you will.
Alright, weather trap has been reached. Breathe.
As you will.
Breathe.
What is it you wish to
Trade
discuss?
rates, map information, single payment. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 regions at 200 apiece. That's what, 1,600? Make the offer. Yep.
This seems quite
All
reasonable
right. Well,
until we meet
you
again.
think that's quite reasonable? Then
As you will.
we'll go with
Resting
that.
here, I have come to the
That
end
additional
of today's
1,600 will be quite helpful. And Mahad will be completing its mines in 2 turns. Mataram will be getting its mining network afterwards, greatly improving our income. Once the shipwright's done, we'll get our Udej Marines. So let's see here. In Strondust, what would we like most to get? We don't have a whole lot of Men of the East culture. Let's take a peek through their buildings. Masons, huh? So we have the buildings, we just don't have the culture. So let's build a Dark Sanctuary here in Strondust. And with Strondust being a castle, we'll be getting units pumped out of there much faster. Definitely a worthwhile venture. In one more turn, we will get our meeting hall, and we should be able to train 1 unit. Let's put in these far Rhûn mercenaries, and then we'll just queue up the rest of them for retraining. And I think what would be best would be to just hold the rest of our money. We will do so. We have... They want us to take Naburka, but I don't feel like that's really necessary.
I will only address
Though
you
this is
in battle.
mainly vineyard levies, I don't feel like going and taking that island if it's not going to be a threat to us, which at this current moment it is most assuredly not. Dorwinion, I do believe, is engaged in a protracted war in the west against Dol Guldur, and perhaps Mordor has even thrown troops that away. I think when last we looked, Mordor was bearing down on Minas Tirith, so they may have the forces to spare to come north against Dorwinion. Western Moria has been besieged. Faction announcements. Marwan has Candish mercenaries. Mengitu has an advisor, getting more stuff. Kalja has a Deretai Elder. Yoruk also has the Deretai Elder. Good. Increasing our funding. Many things besieged, many things assaulted. Up here in Rhubar, we do finally have that meeting hall. And if they're going to hold off on attacking, we are going to do whatever we can to protect this place. An armory may be the best thing. Rhubar is going to be, though it is a town, on the front lines, the entirety of our war against Erebor. Now, luckily, this province here, Gazaribar, is still neutral, so they're coming from Gazar Nauticond all the way in the north, and I have watchtowers watching it. But once Gazaribar falls to either Dale or Erebor, they'll start pumping troops through Rhubar and Elger.
I'm honored to serve.
Let's see what troops we can send you, my boy.
How may I serve?
Balkoth
We
Spearmen,
march.
head that way.
We rest here until dawn.
We're going to send the Candish
How may I
Hunters
serve?
and the Balkoth
Orders.
Tribesmen.
We march. How may I serve? As you will.
And that should be
Orders.
the lot of it.
How may I serve? Orders. Joining. How may I serve?
This army
rest
isn't
here until dawn.
this is no great army, but it will be what we have. We'll start getting more troops out of Bur Monarchus here. Come soon. Would it be worth it to go west into the Plain of Sorrows? Or should we focus north? I think we'd be best served by attacking Dorwinion.
Orders.
One or two more turns, and Bufarij should
Yes,
have
noble
the
master.
army he
How may I
requires
serve?
to
Orders.
truly affect
How may I
some
serve?
change. Send
We
these
march.
troops back to Lest.
Noble one.
The
Orders.
Romanian riders can also
We
go back to
march.
West. No reason to just keep them there to die. And yet another end turn, sending this gentleman to the High... Oh, no, we've already spoken to the Highlands, so we will need to go to the Dwarves. And at this point, selling them the map information truly only gets us that small... And Rhubar's being assaulted.
It is a siege.
I do not believe that Erebor and Dorwinion are allied, though. So Dorwinion will not be assisting them in that fight. If I can get my forces up from Elger, they will be able to assist in the defense of Rhubar. Otherwise, Rhubar will stand alone, but should be able to stand alone. 3 have reached. Oh, of course. We tarried too long, and the One Ring has moved from Kerasant to
Yes, my master.
which,
As you
I
will.
mean,
Tomorrow's
truthfully, that
journey
would be much
awaits.
better for the eye. Just nip on over there and snag it.
Orders.
They're
Morning
already in a
as
protracted war over
Yes,
there anyway.
noble master. Joining our faithful armies
Hefty
together.
penalty to pay.
How may I march?
But
Merging our armies.
Noble one.
Conmargos has this
Orders.
raiding force, I
We
guess
march.
I would
How may I serve?
deem that.
As you will.
Let's return those Daratai clansmen. Let's see.
Orders. We march. Joining the ranks.
If we had cavalry,
Yes. At once.
let's see.
Come and get me, you coward.
Yeah, if we had cavalry,
Yes.
I would go and seek battle. But we're going to hold off for a bit longer. We'll leave Marwan
Yes,
there.
noble master.
How may I serve? How may I serve?
Bring the troops together.
Lokan Rukar will
honored
be
to serve.
marching on Kerasant here within the next
Or
few
noble
turns.
one.
Orders.
Let's move some troops
And
that way.
orders, noble one. Orders,
How may I serve? Orders.
We're gonna move
How may I serve?
everybody to there.
we could lay a trap here.
Sitting there, ambush. We should be quite all right. So within this episode, Coruscant will fall. Santanwi will be a much tougher nut to crack. Post-barracks event will be our best chance. Hopefully, Dorwinion sides with men and not elves. Because if they side with the elves and they're able to pump out the high-tier elven units, Morquendi protectors are devastating pikes. But maybe we
Your men
can
are
crush them
outside.
enough beforehand that it doesn't truly matter.
Orders.
Let's move our
We march.
Balcroft spears
Yes,
all the way up.
noble master.
Meet up
Joining
there.
our faithful armies together.
And Coruscant will have Gustav, his high paladins, and then, like I said, probably about 5 Westron
An honor to
defenders.
serve.
Captain
We
Stig.
close for battle.
I'm
We
just gonna
have
auto-resolve that.
prevailed. Your faith and courage have triumphed.
All right, Count Margos.
Noble one. Yes.
How does Awfulbed look? Ripe for the picking.
Yes.
So
noble
Count Margos
master.
will be taking Awfulbed here momentarily. Mukalku will stay here in Enmahad. Yoruk will stay there in Mataram. I know many people think that your general should be on the front lines, but I think the governor thing is the more important thing. Our Aerialad troops, and we will grab yet another bodyguard.
An honor to serve.
I'm only
This
here to
Dwarven
fight
army.
the Yagaloot.
Now, see, this is the problem I have, and I have it even in Total War Warhammer 2. They're besieging my city. I, at this point, should be able to tell what's in their army. But we will take this force
This will
Protect
be an honorable
Captain
battle.
Niall. They have 2 Dalian cavalrymen, 2 units of Iron Hill Maddox, 2 Stonefoot Spears, a Stiffbeard Archer, and 2 Dwarven Laborers. Close the scroll. Mingetu and Kalja over, 2 to 1. Now I believe that's correct. So I will get to control
Not
Mingetu.
one of us shall fail to keep all in battle.
And Mingetu will be coming from my right side versus sometimes when it's quite unfortunate and you get your allies coming in from behind you. Or from behind the enemy. Oh, start deployment. Alright. Let's grab our Duratai warriors off to the side. And then our Dragon Guard. Balkoth tribes. Duratai. Duratai clans. Dragon Guard, and Variag Nobles. Our Variag Nobles and the rest of the army together. Fine. Let's have them run. And we'll increase the speed. So let's see, what is our best target? The Iron Hills Maddox. Let's have them skirmish. And our Aerialad Dragon Riders should be more than a match for the Dalian Cavalry. quite quickly. Dare attack hunters, shoot there. Dare attack clansmen.
The foe fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
The Dorwinion cavalry were slaughtered almost to a man. So now we need our aerial dragon riders to beat feet and come to the assistance of our men. Okay, Valcog. Alright. Stone for spears. Nice rear charge. Should be devastating enough. Let's get our Barrier Nobles engaged over here. Dragon Guard. A devastating rear charge there. The
Enemy are badly bloodied.
armor-piercing
They have
nature
lost half their men.
of the Dragon Riders really helps punch deep into the Dwarven lines and just cut them down as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Now we'll get these Maddox. The laborers, actually. That should be fine.
The enemy's
And
general lies dead.
dead. It's perfect for us.
Their doom upon them.
And we're going to capture as many of these dwarves as we can. The Dragon Riders are going to be such an asset to us. It's almost funny how good of a unit they are. Alrighty.
Our enemy flees before us like a herd of goats. Drive them from the battle.
One Dwarven laborer. Some Maddox here. Any big blocks? Right. We really just want to ensure that the greatest number are killed. The Dragon Riders, I can already tell you, are going to walk away MVPs, but now they are being killed by my own men. Quite unfortunate.
Great victories are like sweet
So
nectar.
330 lost
Come,
to
let us drink of
only
the most
34
rare
bears
and
remaining.
glorious fruit.
Airlad Dragon Guard, 172 kills. Airlad Dragon Guard. Wait. Perhaps. No, the Dragon Riders did not get it. The Airlad Dragon Guard, the regular one, not the general unit, got 172 kills. The general walked away with 166, and then our Dragon Riders walked away with 136. The good thing about them is that they walked away with 195 prisoners captured. Gandalf, coming up to Bag End. And actually, about 2 days ago, I finished the Fellowship of the Ring for the first time in probably close to 10 years. And last time I read it, I was but a wee lad, and skipped over some of the more boring parts, or at least things that I deemed more boring, such as
We have
a lot of the
prevailed.
songs that are sung.
Using the
And
cover of these trees.
this time going through
Yes,
the
noble
Fellowship of the
master.
Ring is just
I will only
such a
address
beautiful
you in battle.
everything. Beautiful tale,
Noble one.
just wonderful. I had a fantastic time going through reading it and remembering how it made me feel the first time, and
Yes,
just developing
noble
a whole
master.
bunch of new feelings because being a silly child and skipping through things like the different songs, that are sung throughout, makes you appreciate them that much more coming through now, being an adult, especially, I have kids now, and, it just changes your perspective on things. But I really, really enjoyed reading Lord of the Rings, but it didn't make me depreciate the value of the movies. You know, the movies are what they are. Could things have been different? You know, what things were in the books would I have wanted in the movies, at least in regards to Fellowship? You know, would it have been nice to have Glorfindel there? Yeah, but otherwise Arwen is just kind of a background character. And Glorfindel really matters to us more because of what he does in the Silmarillion. You know, Tom Bombadil, does he advance the story? Or is he just kind of a...
You have a proposition
kind of a
for
confusing character? You know, is he Eru Ilúvatar? Is he not? We don't really know. But I don't think his exclusion hurts the movie. I don't think his inclusion would have
No,
hindered
we
it.
cannot agree. Another proposition for us, then?
Trade rates, map information. Make a single payment of just 1,000. Will be nice to you, Angmar.
I am not quite...
An honor and a pleasure.
Farewell. As you will. I have
Going to
come
the
to
dwarves.
the end of today's road.
You know, the only person that I thought maybe Gildor and Glorian, perhaps his inclusion would have been
An honor to
would have
serve.
been good to have, but you know, is it necessary?
Orders?
I also don't think that. All right, Kalja, Mengitu,
Orders?
these Candish
How may I
Raiders,
serve?
and
Orders.
2 Daratai
How may I serve?
warriors,
Orders.
and those Daratai clansmen and these
How may I
Balcoth.
serve?
They're
Yes.
going to head back to
Tomorrow's
Eldir.
journey awaits.
I think the better person
Yes,
to have here would be
noble
Broda, since he is armor piercing. You know, keep the Faerûn mercenaries here. Dalian cavalry could come through. The Arielad Dragon Guard, again, armor piercing. Dragon Riders, perhaps.
Orders.
Actually, we'll send them as well.
We march.
I'd
Working
rather
up
have them
together.
here so that I can send them out and fight outside of a settlement. Inside a settlement, cavalry is almost completely useless. Just queue all that up. But back to Lord of the
An honor
Rings.
to serve.
You know, I think the big difference is that in the books you
close
have
for
time
battle.
to linger.
We shall
you have
endure
time
outside their walls.
to
Lay siege. Has the time
give
come
time
to strike?
to kind of flesh everything out.
How may
So,
I
like,
serve? Orders. We
The
march.
17-year time span between Gandalf leaving the Shire and, you know, coming back and telling Frodo that he should, you know, get gone
Yes, noble
may
master.
have been more confusing.
Will be an honorable battle.
68.
Your faith and
These
courage
paladins.
have triumphed.
I'm just gonna auto-resolve.
We will engage them honorably. We have prevailed. We could lay a trap here, if you will. Noble one.
You know, the fact that they stay in Lothlorien for about a month. You know, I think just some of those things may do, I don't want to say harm, but may be more confusing than they're worth in clarifying things. Grab more Dragon Guard there. Let's just queue everybody up. Nope, can't retrain there. Can't retrain there. Alright, I should be getting access to Udej Marines next turn. The barracks event should only be a few turns away. I can assault Karasent this next turn and take it. Are you going to attack me? Nope. But, you know, obviously Aragorn's character's almost entirely changed. You know, making him be the reluctant ranger who doesn't want to be king versus, you know, the gung-ho, well, sure, of course I'm going to be king. Yeah, I'm not king right now, but I'm basically king. attitude that he has in
An
the
honor to
books.
serve.
But, you know, does that hurt it? Nah, I don't think so. What is our culture here? Our culture is 41%. That's why we got to get it up to... Got to get it up a little more.
Yes.
Why are you,
come
like,
and get me.
piecemealing out your
We
troops here?
close for battle.
Why is... Alright, we're going to fight this because they're
We shall not fall.
overvaluing
Flee. We attack.
these troops. You know, but say for maybe Gildor and Glorian, you know, naming Frodo and Sam Elfriend and passing along the information to the Black Riders. You know, short of that, I don't really think that it would be necessary to have anything else that was really missed. I think some things are not conveyed as well. As already mentioned, time doesn't seem to be as you know, as important of the device that it is in the books. You know, everything just obviously has time to move slower. You know, I think Merry is much smarter in the books than he is in the movies. I think Merry gets lumped in a little bit more than he deserves with Pippin. But not altogether unpleasant to have just two kind of fools. I think Sam is actually elevated. I think he's much more of a simpleton in the books than the movies. But again, none of these are altogether bad. You gonna stay in formation? Good. Let's keep moving. Let's shoot at these bladesmen. Better take out the crossbows. But I'm sure I can charge them here momentarily. We need to get some regular foot soldiers in this army, so that's not just all archers. Not that the Valkov tribes no more hold for a bit, but they're this I swear this army isn't supposed to be that cheesy. It was what I had available at the time, and I wanted to make sure Conmargos stayed alive. Alright.
The enemy are badly bloodied. Our foe fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
We are winning the battle. Seriously? I get that.
The enemy general flees like an old woman. Attack and break the will of his men.
Let's just mop them up. Legolas is far more important, I would say, in the books.
Brave men
I think
have
that he does
captured
not
the
get
enemy
as
general.
much, at least
Pretends
in
to
regards
be
to
a
fellowship.
lion, but he seems more an ostrich. Let
But,
him sit and watch how true lion enemy flees before
Again,
us
I
like
don't
a herd
think
of
that the
goats.
betrayals
Drive
are
them.
wrong or need to be changed in any way. You know, I wish Gandalf, I guess, would have cast more spells like he does in the book. But again, it may just be, you know, something that
Victory is
detracts
ours.
from the story. Now, there are a few guesses I could say as to who that is. They could be Melian, that could be Luthien, that could be Nienor. But my money would be on Luthien, I think. elf maiden running through wood, or beautiful maiden running through wood
And courage
is
have triumphed!
a pretty oft used descriptor in the Legendarium. Let's
At
move
once.
this way. Alright, this road is coming this way. I'm not too worried about Awful
Yes.
Bed right this moment.
Tomorrow's
I'm gonna head
journey awaits.
into the Plane of
We
Sorrow
move
and
at
see
first
if
light.
I can find the city that lie there.
Yes, noble.
I will
Alright.
only address
Captain
you
Skull
in
is
battle.
chasing me.
Be gone.
At once.
Park myself on this bridge. And let's grab some Balkoth.
And
Because I could
honor to
hold with
serve.
Daratai warriors and just shoot over with the tribesmen and Kalja. Got Captain Droki. But,
Yes, noble master. We will engage
Assault.
them honorably.
nope, he only gets 3 units of Westron defenders. With 3 units of Westron defenders, he still has that good of a chance, is what they think, though. Well, let's prove him
One
wrong.
of
Let's
us
take
shall fail to keep all in battle.
the Vintner Court's capital. That is Numenor. Or Elena. If you watch me for my Warhammer content, I have a great love for Warhammer and a fair deal of knowledge of that lore as well, but it pales in comparison to my Lord of the Rings knowledge. I have always been a big fan of Lord of the Rings ever since I went and saw the Fellowship with my family as a very young child, because what year, 2001 is Fellowship, so I would have been 5. 1996 is when I was born. For those interested. But I saw Fellowship in theaters, not opening night, but I did see it in theaters, and then I saw the subsequent 2 movies opening night, Return of the King, or Two Towers, and then Return of the King, and loved them. Had a love of fantasy before. Even as a young child, I liked history, and I liked Knight's Tales and Dragons
Let us have reached the
and
walls.
the like.
May our
But
brave
Lord
lions
of the Rings
strike
just
these
like
curs who hide behind them.
it just hit. It hit differently. It tickled that itch.
Our men have reached the gate with the battering
I'm sure
ram.
you all understand. If you're watching
The
this
siege
content,
towers
you
are at the walls.
must appreciate Lord
Foe
of the
think he
Rings
could hide
at
behind
least
them forever?
near as much as I do. But those movies had a profound effect on certain ways of how they thought, and I've owned all 3 Blu-rays. One of the
Let us
first,
have reached the
I
walls.
guess, for a
May our
kid, big
brave lions
purchases I
strike
made
these curs who
was,
hide behind them.
all 3 of them. Now, granted, they're not some massive purchase, but to a young, I think 15 or 16-year-old at the time, they were
Our men
not
have done
inexpensive
well.
things.
The
And
gates
still,
have fallen.
watching to this day, I actually burned through my Two Towers copy because I loved watching the Battle of Helm's Deep so much. I have since, as a kid, or as a young man, I loved Two Towers, and I
The
loved
enemy have lost the walls. Send
Return of
your
the King,
troops to take the
Battle
rest of the
Pelican
settlement.
Fields and Battle of Helm's Deep, and the battle at the Mirandon. Those battles were things that I would, I'd watch the movie for those battles. But as I got older, I learned to really appreciate things like, just all the subtle moments in Fellowship, all the quiet dialogue and the history and different things. Because obviously, at 5 years old, I had not read Lord of the Rings before I had seen it. But as soon as I was able, or as soon as it seemed comparable to me, I jumped at the chance to read it, and have done so a few times. I think I've read the Silmarillion more. I'm a big fan of things like Dungeons and Dragons and the like. And I like the history of things, and I like background and world building. And the Silmarillion, just that's like you could teach a course on world building just by using just the Silmarillion. And I have read the Silmarillion. I have listened to the Silmarillion a number of times. I would say the Silmarillion's the book I've read the most, and then probably the Children of Húrin, which Arakir Galderothan just covered Turin Turambar in his monthly lore series. And it was nice to go back through, never a sadder tale when it comes to the Legendarium than the story of Turin. Yeah. Or his father, getting to sit there and have enhanced sight be blessed upon him, and basically just getting to watch your children, die and, accidentally fall in love, and you can see a child.
We have cut off the serpent's head. Our enemy are badly bloodied.
Then
They
get
have lost
released.
half their
And
men.
not only that, but obviously that was Turin Turambar's video and not Húrin. But I
We have
would
lost half
further
of our
put the
men.
point that after he was released, he also stands at the walls around Gondolin and cries to be let back in, and that's how Morgoth finds out, like the general area of, the hidden city. So, just more tragedy. Westbound Defenders here. I really don't care if I lose all the Balcom Spearmen. Basically, just have to wait through this timer, because I do hold the city center. These Balcom Spearmen are trickling around. Unfortunately, the pathing isn't fantastic. Let's pull these troops all the way back so that they stop being shot. I am I'm not somebody who's afraid of their emotions, and I can definitely say that the Children of Húrin made me cry, and even to this day, watching the Lord of the Rings, any of the three, there is at least one part throughout all three movies that bring me to tears. The death of Boromir is always profound. In the Two Towers, Sam's speech to Frodo about that there's some good left in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. That one always, I get choked up with that, especially, considering everything that, always is going on in this world, all the bad, that there are good things, what is it? This cloud, it's ever a passing thing, and eventually the sun will, come out and it'll shine.
Victory is well within our grasp.
What is it? Shine
Time
all
our foe
clear.
will surely see this and lose heart. Victory is ours,
Something,
but only by a
something akin
sword's
to that.
edge.
But I think that's probably the only part in that. And then in Return of the King, many parts, Theoden's death and his speech to Eowyn, and obviously, you had the awesome speech of Aragorn at the Morannon, and then, Gimli looking to Legolas and going, I never thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf, and, what about side by side with a friend?
We have prevailed!
I could do that.
Victory!
Those moments are just the best, and of course, like I said, I have no problem saying that I, get choked up, and the tears do flow forth, but no farming culture. Retraining those first. So Coruscant is now ours. The capital of Dorwinion has fallen, and now Santanui is their capital, which they will probably start defending a bit better now that they have actually lost one of their capitals.
Noble one.
Ooh, intern. Gandalf and Pippin talking, I never thought it'd end like this. And, this isn't the end. Death is only another path.
The
one
enemy
that we
lay
almost
siege.
take.
We will show them no fear.
And you can tell, that I haven't watched the movies recently, but they're always in my mind, and I have watched them enough where if I'm watching them with my wife or any family, I'm constantly having to be told to shut up because they can't hear the dialogue, and I don't need to hear the dialogue because it's pretty much all up there. So, Lord of the Rings is definitely a love of mine, and if CA could get a hold of the rights, Coruscant has a Master Merchants Guild. Coruscant has fallen, and wife expands, faction announcements, Elaiwa, and then Mufarij, Runic Saber. Ooh, his personal security
Yes,
went
my
up. That's
master.
good. That means he'll have
As
a
you
larger
will.
bodyguard unit.
Resting here.
That
I will
Master
only address
Merchants
you
Guild here
in battle.
Coruscant. We'll get a merchant here now. Let's pick him up, and that merchant will go and probably park himself on, I don't know, maybe that orchard. Oh, there's a gold mine. Nope, he'll go back down there and park himself on the gold mine. Yeah, I think that's probably the most profitable thing. There's a vineyard, but I think gold's worth more than wine in this. No, but if CA could get a hold of this, I know in, strictly according to the lore, there is no distinction of
Yes,
troops or
noble
anything like
master.
that, save for
Yes.
that certain people,
We close for
certain
battle.
elves. What is it?
This will be an honorable battle.
The Sindar, I believe. Yeah, the Sindar are the axe elves. The bow of the Galathrim is great.
How may I serve?
Even better than that of
Merging our armies.
the woods of Mirkwood. Obviously that's why Legolas would take the bow of the Galathrim over his own bow. But there are no, Daratai crossbowmen, Daratai, but, Galu and the others over at the guys who get together and have put this wonderful mod together for us. Really, they also love this, and I think CA would be wise to heed
Orders.
their their advice about how best to put something like this all
How may I
together.
serve? Or as you will.
Because otherwise you have, elf. You will have the things that, Gallo says he hates. Elf archer, elf swordsman, elf axeman. You'll have boring things like that with no flavor, or maybe CA could knock it out of the park like they have so far with Warhammer. And I think with the siege of Coruscant done and Coruscant fallen to us, the Dwarven army around Rhubarb being quashed, and now Con Margot's going to Ostenaire to take on this pitiful army. The Avari warriors would be dangerous if they were at full, but they're not. I think this is a pretty good place to end it. So I thank you all for watching. Hopefully my rambling was not too terrible, and hopefully you can tell and you share my passion for this great fictional work that though I think Tolkien may may not have liked everything that has come up around his work, whether it be the games or the films, I appreciate the man immensely for what he's given us, and for what he what he himself did as a human being, serving in World War One. I believe he was at the Battle of the Somme, which I have no words to describe how terrifying and how just horrendous a battle like that would have been. But I thank him for this, much as I thank you for coming and watching this video. I appreciate you all. Thank you. And as always, I have been Father of the Everchosen.